Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a estate sale haul. I have a lot to show you. I only had an hour to dig at this estate sale because we got there kind of late, but I found a lot of really good stuff. I'm going to show you the hard goods first and then I'll show you all the clothes. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first piece I saw was just in a random box in the garage. It definitely is dirty. It needs to be cleaned. I saw this and saw the clovers on it and thought that this might be Balik, or yep, Balik, and it is. So this is just a small little vase. It's gonna sell for like between $10 and $15. They're very cute, very collectible. The larger ones do sell for more money, but I was surprised considering this was in the garage that it had no chips or cracks. It was just a cute little vase. Cute little Irish vase. The next thing I'm gonna show you is actually going to a personal friend. All friends are personal, right? But this is going to my friend Brandon. He likes loose leaf tea. I have one of these. I bought these brand new. It's brand new in the box still. It is a perfect tea maker from Teavana. I will never forgive Starbucks for buying Teavana and then killing it and basically making it so I could never get my favorite tea ever again. But that's what it is. It's just so that way you can make a perfect cup of loose leaf tea. I have one of these. There is a new tea shop in Williamsburg and they have some teas that are close to some of my favorite teas from Teavana. And I told him I had one of these and I was gonna give him one. But I found a brand new one, so I'm gonna give them this instead. And then I had some grand disappointment. So I almost never find video games in my area. There are a lot of resellers where I live and they normally get to those first. So when I started seeing this, I was like, oh my god, that's amazing! Except absolutely none of these have the game inside of them. Now, these are also very dirty because they were in a box in the garage. You know, they're not really great games. But you can make some money by selling the booklets and the empty cases because people are trying to because you know, there are plenty of just the games out there on the internet for sale. So some people are trying to complete their game so that way they buy the booklets and the case that they're supposed to go with. This is Metal Gear Solid booklet. I found the booklet, didn't find the case. I was looking for what I would assume to have been one of those old CD cases that we used to keep in our cars, you know, back when people listened to CDs. But I didn't find this. So this is like an Oddworld booklet. If I had found the games with this, would have been absolutely amazing, but I did not. So I'm just going to, I bought all of them, a bunch of cases and booklets, and I will just piece it out. If it's worth reselling, cool. If not, I will just donate it. So just trying to do my best to save some stuff in the landfill, because I can assure you everything from this estate sale that wasn't going to get sold was going to go in a landfill because there was a lot. I also picked up something I don't normally pick up, and that is silverware. Silverware is actually a really great on market if you can find some good stuff. So I found 2 sets of silverware at this estate sale. The whole bottom of the bag is full of it. And that is this one, which is the tulip pattern. Hold on, I'm trying to find a spoon so that way I can actually read it. Yeah, so this is Silver Tulip. So that's the tulip at the bottom. Silver Tulip is the name of the pattern, and this is a pattern of flatware from I think 56. It's either 52 or 56. I will correct myself over here. But sets of that were selling, depending on how many pieces, between 25 to 75. And the ladies basically just giving this stuff away. So I bought all of them. And then the other one is this wooden handle set. And I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see it, but it says Stainless USA on the back. And there's a little symbol right there. It's got a W and an F on there. And that is Washington Forge. So I actually found 2 sets of silverware I would be willing to clean up and sell as a lot, and hopefully get 50 bucks for each. That would be amazing. And something I've not tried before, I have sold flatware before, but it's really rare that I find enough pieces of enough of a set that would be worth reselling. But I did here. It was great. And my face is now itchy. And I don't want to touch my face because I just touched a bunch of dirty silverware. Another thing I rarely pick up, because again, there are a lot of resellers in my area, but a tip for going to an estate sale, go to an estate sale that looks dirty. Just, if it looks messy and dirty and there's like just random boxes everywhere and they're not sorting things out, like, look at this cute like English pottery, or look at this hull piece. Look for something that looks like you're going to a flea market. I assure you that's where the deals are and where you're gonna be able to find enough stuff if you like really are willing to look. And that's what I found here. I found records, another thing I don't really do a lot of selling. Now, there were some amazing records that unfortunately I had to leave behind because they had mold. And if you don't know, vinyl is made out of like wax. So if it gets mold in it, look, there's my box light and there's the camera. You can't get that out. So I had to leave those behind. But the ones that did look good, I have bought. So this is taking it to the limit, and this has got a bunch of metal. Well, not just metal, it's got like a hard rock. So this is like got Phil Collins, Rod Stewart, Genesis, Twisted Sister. So I thought this was awesome. It's also got like the bike on it. I've never tried selling records online before, so we'll see how this goes. Maybe I'll just hold on to these until one day I get that, you know, antique mall booth, if that ever happens. I also got Johnny Cash, Happiness Is You. Johnny Cash is looking a little rough there. Now, this one's also in great shape as well. I might actually just try selling these on Whatnot. I haven't decided yet. We'll check comps and see what I want to do. But she didn't charge me hardly anything for these. So I actually paid $100 for everything I'm showing you. And the last thing I'm going to show you actually pays for everything, which I'm very proud of. I try to do that. It's rare that I get to do that, but when I do it, it makes me really happy. So this is Hello, I'm Johnny Cash. Hello, Johnny Cash. It's nice to see you. This one's also in great shape. Oh, well, the record's in great shape, or good shape. I don't know how else to... Here's the record. I mean, most of you know what a record looks like. If you don't, cool. I can only imagine the records that my parents threw away that now would be worth a lot of money. I also found the Pretenders, which I thought was super cool. I don't know what year that one is from. I also found Kiss Destroyer. Now this box is, the sleeve, is that what you call it? I don't know what you call it, is very trashed. But the actual CD inside is not. So, CD. The actual record inside is not that bad considering how trashed this is. It does have fingerprints and it does have one scratch on it. But the fact that this is like an original 1976 record might make it retain some value. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I might just put these up on Whatnot. I haven't decided yet. And then Zebra, or Zebra, whatever you want to say. But that's definitely like some hair rock right there. I just thought this was really cool because I rarely find records that are worth anything. So this is from 1983. I thought that was great. So I found some like video game pieces. I found some records. I was just like super, super happy. I also found this. You're like, why did you buy what looks like a plastic tray? This is not plastic, this is fiberglass. And if you look in there, there's like some gold flakes. So this is Silite. This is a fiberglass like diner tray. And you know, these were really popular from like, you know, the 50s up and through like the 80s. Silite diner trays are something I look out for because definitely some of them hold more value than other ones. Like the basic diner tray, you know, if you have a set of them, you can sell them for like $20. But if you get the ones that have like really cool patterns on them, like there's a 60s psychedelic pattern that sells really, really well just for one. I can get about like $20 for this one because it is a mid-century piece and it's flat, so you can use this as like just a cool like piece on your, you can use this as a statement piece on your table. So I picked that up. I thought that was awesome. But I know like most people don't think about that. But yeah, plastic dining trays can have value. I also picked up a thick bit. Hold on, look at this. I love selling vintage cookbooks. You guys know that. Well, most of you know that. I love selling vintage cookbooks, and I found a nice set of vintage Betty Crocker spiral bound books, and these range from like the 60s through to the 80s. Each one has its own price, roughly around $10. So this one's 1967, the new outdoor cookbook, and they're meant to like lay flat, and it's got like, look at Betty Crocker, look at her. But I got all these, and I just thought they were so cute. Each of these sell between like $5 to $15. But I love selling vintage cookbooks, and again, everything was so cheap. Definitely excited about that. I don't know how much this was. I picked this up because, you guys, again, vintage cookbook. This is from 1949, and this is from Dublin. It was 6p net. I just thought this was really cool. This is like cookery notes, and it's got all these pictures in it. Like, it's got a bunch of advertisements in it. Like, look at this. I thought this was just such a neat little piece of ephemera. It's got like a whole bunch of like how to boil meat, how to grill, how to make a proper salad, how to make a pudding, and it's like got recipes in it, and then it's got these really cool advertisements in it, or advertisements, because this is from Dublin. I just thought this was so cool. I don't know what it's worth. Someone will buy that from me. Speaking of ephemera, I also found these really cute little, these are so cool. I want to frame one of them, but it's just like this little, it's got little kitties. So of course I saw it because it's got little kitties. But this is like a postcard book, but like they're little tiny miniature cards. And it's got a whole bunch of pictures of like New York, random places in New York. And I just thought it was cool. And then speaking of New York, I found this. All right, look at how cool this is. I don't know what year is this. It has a year on it somewhere, I think. Maybe I'm lying. I'm lying. I don't see a year on it. I don't see a year, which sucks, but I feel like this is a mid-century map based on the back. But look, it is a New York City Transit System subway map of New York. Look at how cool this is. I would love to have this framed. If I got this framed, I could probably sell it. Or I could just sell it as it is and somebody else would have it framed, because like, I like this kind. This is the kind of wall art I would have. Actually, this is the kind of wall art that I do have. It's either like nerdy posters from video games, or it's like vintage and antique maps. That's the kind of person I am. But this is actually a postcard, and it's got a puppy on it, and it's unposted postcard. What I thought was cool about this is that the puppy has a surprise. It's not puppy surprise. There's no like, it's not gonna have puppies. For those of you who know what puppy surprise is. But it's got a whole bunch of pictures from Killarney. So if you open up the dog, inside he poops out Killarney pictures. I just thought that was so cool. Like, look at that. It's got like the castle, like it's got a bunch of the pictures of the Ross Castle. It's got the Serpent Lake. It's got the rapids. It's got a bunch of cows. I just thought it was cool. I love this kind of stuff. So like, this is like one of those unposted postcards that I feel like has value to it. And I know somebody's gonna want this, because I know I kind of want it. I just thought this was so cool, and it's not something you see very often. Again, I like selling ephemera. If you're not into it, you do you, but I just love ephemera because it gives you like that social history, like that, it makes life feel richer to me personally. And I also got some like belt buckles and stuff. So I picked up one USN belt buckle, so United States Navy. This one is solid brass, made in Taiwan, so probably like based on the stuff in the house, like 60s or 70s. Just a regular belt buckle. And then I have a Anheuser-Busch belt buckle as well. And this is a reproduction. So reproduced by arrangement with the Anheuser-Busch company. So I have 2 belt buckles. I don't know how much they'll sell for. Again, when I'm digging in a estate sale and I have like a time limit, I just am going off my gut or off of like things that I've sold in the past that have done well. But now we're gonna get into clothes and accessories. So I'm gonna show you the women's clothing first. I just got a couple of pieces of women's clothing. And then I'll show you all the men's clothing. Now the men's clothing I am going to put up for sale tomorrow. So that's Monday, October 24th on Whatnot at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will put my link down below if you're interested. If you've never used Whatnot before, I am an influencer for them. So my link will actually get you $15 in credit instead of the normal $10 to spend on stuff. Now your credit does not cover shipping costs. It only covers the actual cost of the item, which people don't really tell people about. So I am letting you know that. But let me get into the women's stuff first. So I found this vintage 90s green velvet dress. Look at it. 90s is very in. It's long sleeve. Perfect for the upcoming, you know, holiday season. Like I can totally see someone wearing this for a Christmas dress. And this is actually a dance dress. It's all that jazz in a size medium. Apparently somebody bought this at Goodwill or some other secondhand store for like $15.99. I paid $1 for this. But it's beautiful and it's in great shape. And I have already washed all this stuff because of course I have. So there's this. It's a lot of fabric for $1. And then the only other women's piece I picked up is a vintage Sag Harbor sweater. This is a nice long sleeve one, and this is also from the 90s. It does have a slight crop, so it has a short waist. So I'll just put like 90s Y2K in the title. Won't have a problem selling that. And now we're gonna get into all the men's stuff, and the men's stuff again is all going to be up on Whatnot tomorrow. So if you want to hang out with me and just to see what it's out, cool. If you want to buy some stuff from me, also cool. Most of this is going to be vintage and t-shirts. So except for this, because this is a brand new pair of Champion fleece pants. They're not joggers, it's just like regular leg. But they're brand new with tags, and they are a men's size XL. So this will go up, all of my auctions will start at $3. So get a brand new pair of pants for $3 if you want to. Or not, you do you. And then also the way I list everything on Whatnot, if it doesn't sell on Whatnot, I will just sell it on eBay. Like my listing is pretty much already done. So there's that. This is a vintage Scottish wool blend sweater, just a nice, you know, neutral color. It is a wool polyester blend, so it's 70% wool. It's warm, it is a little scratchy, so this is going to be something you want to wear over something else, unless, you know, wool doesn't bother you, in which case you do you. But this is made in Scotland, so this is probably like from the 80s. It is definitely very warm, very cozy. In size large. And then this is not vintage, but stuff like this does well on Whatnot. So this is Gray Man Knives, made in the USA. The shirt is not made in the USA, the knives are made in the USA. This shirt was made in Haiti, but there's the graphic on the back. And this is a men's XL. It has absolutely nothing wrong with it. This does have something wrong with it. It has some fading. So you can see this, it has some sun fading because this was well used, well loved. This was made in Honduras. This is a men's medium. And this is a Harley Davidson shirt. You can see the sun fading. This is from Hilo, Hawaii. So that's pretty cool. This next one also has some sun fading and also has a hole. This one is vintage though. So vintage will still sell even with holes in it. This is vintage Hampton Roads. This actually is not cut off. This is made to be sleeveless. This is made in the USA, and there is the hole. On Whatnot, I'll probably ask the person, do you want me to stitch the hole up, or you just want to keep the hole? Or I might not ask, I might not care. But again, made in the USA. This is a size large. So, I mean, I feel like Harley bros don't really care if there's a hole in their Harley tee. Maybe they do, I don't know. This is a vintage piece that I hope will do well on Whatnot. I don't know, it's been a while since I've sold on Whatnot. This is an XL. Made by Jerseys in the United States, and it's an angel with some children. I don't know, I've been told that religious stuff does well, or like vintage religious stuff does well on Whatnot. We'll see. This is a men's XL sweatshirt, and it's vintage and made in the USA. It's got some cracking on the graphic, but that just to me shows that it's aged. This is Ozzy Osbourne. This is a reprint, so this is not from 1982, but there is a reprint. This one does have the sleeves cut off. And there is the 1982, so this is a reprint, and I know that because this is, it says there, it says Winterland Classic Rock. And this is a men's large. So we'll see how that does. This is another also, I think, reprint, maybe. I don't know, actually. This is a large. And this is Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Oh yeah, this is a reprint because this would have been from the 90s. But this one has a tiny hole. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. All right, so it has a tiny hole here in the back. But otherwise, it's fine. And that is a men's size large. This is an original t-shirt, but this is, I think, a medium. Nope, this is, yep, I was right. Okay, so this is an original, this is a medium. This is some guy, hold on, I don't know. Bring Me the Horizon. Tell I don't listen to this music. He is flicking you off. Just in case you wanted to know what that was, he is not giving you the peace sign. When you give the peace sign, you should give it this way, because if you turn it around, that's basically flipping somebody the bird. If you did not know that, you know that now. This is another Harley shirt. This is a men's XL. It's another Hampton Roads, which is where I am from. Well, which is where I live now. This Yorktown. It says good to be the king on the front with the chest set, and then on the back it's got a British dude and an eagle and a Harley. I feel like someone just put enough graphics on that shirt, like, this is good. It's like somebody made a Pinterest board, but for like motorcycles. I probably shouldn't say that, but that's what that reminds me of. All right, this one is made in the USA. So I think this one is, yeah, so this is a Hanes beefy tee, so this one I think is vintage. This is from the like 90s. Maybe? I don't know. No, nope, this is the year 2000. Look at that, still vintage though. Y2K. It says right down at the bottom, 2000. This is from Burlington, North Carolina. There's the graphic on the back. So that's cool. So I got a vintage Harley pocket tee there. The Y2K era. Then we have The Legend. So this is a Punisher t-shirt, but it's for Forge. I don't know what Forge is. Forged, this is XL. I have no idea what this is. So, but that's the Punisher logo. I wonder if they got permission to print the Punisher logo on this t-shirt. This is a men's XL, it's just a red t-shirt. This one is Harley Davidson for Nashville, Tennessee. And this one is a size large. This is also made in the USA. And this is 2005. I just realized that there's dates on most of these. I didn't even look at that. I just saw Harley tees and just grabbed. Because, to be honest, like, it was above this garage and there were just trash bags full of clothes. And I opened like 3 or 4 trash bags and it was like underwear and kids' clothes. And after like going through 4 bags of underwear and kids clothes, I was just like, I don't want to deal with this. And I only had an hour. So like I went into the other room above the garage and was like looking through the stuff, and that's where I found the video game stuff. And then on my way out, there are these 2 girls, and they were like, dumped out this giant bag of basically what I just showed you. But it was like vintage, like band tees. And they were like, oh, look at this, look at this. And I was like, are you kidding me? I just kept looking. So they were doing that. So I went back downstairs and dropped off my box of stuff. And then I was like, hey, I'll be right back. And then I went upstairs and I was like, hey, if there's anything you guys don't want, can I have it? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. We pulled out pretty much what we wanted already. So I don't know what they kept, but they were specifically looking for vintage band tees and stuff. So I don't know what I missed out on, but they still left some stuff for me. But that's just, don't give up. Just keep looking. You might just be 1 bag away from some gold, but I just got impatient. I'm kicking myself still a little bit. So this is Harley Davidson. This is for Honduras, Rotan, Honduras. This one I don't think has a date on it. It does not. But it has a really cool graphic on the back, and this is a men's medium. So I basically have all the sizes, which is kind of cool. Another Harley tee. This is another size medium. And this is Prince Edward Island in Canada. It's a pocket tee. There it is on the back. So some really cool graphics, some good mix of sizes. And then the last piece of men's clothing I have to share with you is another vintage. This one is probably late 70s, early 80s. This is nice cable knit sweater. And this is a size XL. I thought this was great. I don't know if it probably fits more like a modern large than a modern XL. But it's a really nice cable knit, and I will put, you know, says XL if it's like a modern large. And I always give measurements for my listings. So all that men's stuff will be up on Whatnot, plus I'll pull some other men's stuff to make it an even 20. I do quick Whatnot shows because I can't stand up and talk for that long because of my disability. So there's that. I will also be, this is unisex, I feel like. It does have a little bit of discoloration on the back. We'll see if I can clean that off with some leather cleaner. But here is a vintage leather bum bag. So, you know, it's cool now to wear these like around your neck. Or at least that's how I wear it, because I like it better actually, because I can just reach in here. So, but this is leather. It's made by Mundi. And it's really cool. It's got several pockets inside, and it's actually pretty clean inside. But here's that, and that'll probably go on the Whatnot as well. And then the last thing I have to share with you guys is the thing that's gonna pay for everything. And it's this leather bag. This leather bag. So this leather bag is very unassuming looking. Looks like a regular like saddle bag, right? No big deal. But this is like, so I was trying to make $100. I was trying to make my order be $100 because at $100 I can use the credit card. I didn't bring enough cash. So I saw this, they had marked this at 30. And so I just pulled it and like looked at it and looked inside, be like, why in the world did you mark this at $30? Because, you know, there were other bags in there that they hadn't marked. I opened it inside. It's a nice, you know, nice leather bag, no big deal. But then I pulled out the flap. And this is why they had marked it at 30. So this is a Coach bag, and this is an actual Coach bag. Now, I have never really liked Coach because I'm used to Coach looking like this. So there is something called quiet luxury. I prefer quiet luxury. This is more loud luxury to me. And until I started finding this year a lot of vintage Coach, did I really begin to get an appreciation for why the brand became a popular luxury brand, and then it just kind of turned into what it is today. Which, if you love Coach, most of it's still super well made and some of it can be really cute. It's just not my style. This is more my style. Plain, unassuming, just well made. But this is a crescent leather saddlebag. if this creed said made in New York City, United States, or USA, this would be a $300 bag, because that would have meant it was laid in the late 60s, early 70s. But because this says it's made in the United States is spelled out, not made in the USA, but the United States. That means this bag was made in the mid to late 70s. So that makes this, instead of it being a $300 bag, that makes this like around a $150 bag. So it's like around that area, because it's still a 70s made in the USA leather Coach bag, but it is not the most sought after one that's still made in New York City. So when I sell this bag, it should pay for everything else, and everything else is just going to be gravy. But I couldn't believe that the very last thing I picked up to try to make $100 so I could use my credit card ended up being the most valuable thing in the entire house. Well, not in the entire house. They also had some other really cool stuff, but I decided not to go back because I don't need to spend more money. But this is beautiful. This is gonna go up on eBay, and I'm really happy about that. And yeah, I've learned so much about Coach this year because I've come across so many vintage leather Coach bags, and I have done really well with them. They have all sold within like 2 weeks of me listing them. So maybe I will have the same luck as well. So I'm gonna just show this creed up to you a little bit closer so you guys can see it. But it has all the spaces like it's supposed to. It also has some lipstick on it, which I need to clean off. But it has the 7-digit number. So this 7-digit number is specific to this bag because this is a vintage piece. And it has made in the United States right there at the bottom, which dates us to the mid to late 70s. So everything will be listed up in my Whatnot show by noon tomorrow. Everything will be posted with pictures and measurements. So if you join me, awesome. If not, no worries. I hope you guys enjoyed the haul and what kind of stuff I like to pick up when I'm at an estate sale. And again, if you go to an estate sale, I pick the ones that either have stuff that I know is going to be valuable or stuff that I feel like I can find and dig and look for treasure. So I will see you guys in a couple days for another video, and until then, bye. Bye.